What is happening, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Stadium. Last time we took out the Petite Cup. This time we're going to start with the official Pokemon League tournament, the Poke Cup. This is the 50 to 55 level range of Pokemon. This is going to be one of the harder tournaments. Obviously, there's going to be the 4 balls like there were last time. So we're down to our last 9 videos here, so this should be fun. Obviously, we're saving some of the hardest for last, so let's see how this goes. Not changing anything about the teams, even though I kind of said I wanted to on a few of them. It's not a big deal, so I'm not going to worry about it. So, yeah. So this being the Pokeball rounds is going to be a little bit joke mode-ish. If that's a word, it's not really, but that's kind of how this is going to go. There's not going to be too much difficulty in this. Unfortunately, this guy goes for Hypnosis right off the bat. He definitely lands the sleep. And here's the thing. If you're faster and you have a sleep move, you will never be able to not put your guy to sleep. So I'm going to switch out here. That kind of sucks. But Power, you really need to not be falling asleep there, bro. So we're going to bring out Derp, and Derp's going to be fine here. He's not going to take anything from this Dream Eater. So that is just fantastic. And it's going to actually be faster than me here. Luckily, there is a sleep clause in place here, and you can't put 2 things to sleep. And that Psywave actually does a buttload of damage, and I'm somehow not resistant to it, so that kind of sucks. Luckily, we're able to hit that thing with a Psychic Blast, and that thing is dead as hell. And things aren't going too badly here. Its next Pokemon is Poliwhirl. And it does not have the fighting subtype yet, so I'm actually going to go for the Mega Drain. It's going to be faster than me, though, and it's going to go for the Hyper Fang, and that's going to do a little bit of damage, not too much. But there is the Mega Drain, and we're going to be able to heal up to nearly full there. And we're going to continue to Mega Drain like a boss. And this thing's actually going to go for the Soft Boil off of the Metronome. And that's almost unfortunate for him, because now I'm going to be able to heal up even more. But he is actually going to be able to live the attack. So I'm going to continue to Mega Drain him. But he gets another Soft Boil. And I don't think he's going to be able to survive this time. He is definitely going to go down this time. But that's what happens when you use a luck move like Metronome. And his last Pokemon is Hitmonlee, and that thing's going to get Psychicked in the face. And it's actually going to be faster, and he gets another Recover move. What the hell is with this guy in recovering? Anyway, there's absolutely no way that thing's going to be able to survive. And so we're able to take this first battle pretty easily. Obviously, it was a little annoying. I was using 2 pretty slow Pokemon, but either way, there you go. I'll try and speed through this, though, because I know nobody really wants to watch the Pokeball video. But I'll try and keep my commentary as interesting as possible. But it's tough to do when there's going to be a billion matches over and over and over. So, yeah. See how that goes. But we're going to send out Bandit to lead, and he's going to lead with a Beedrill. And again, we're just going to go for the Psychic here, you know, make it easy on ourselves. And it's actually going to live. That really surprised me there. And that thing is going to Twin Needle the shit out of me. And it's not going to do much, though, so that's good for me. Anyway, here comes the Ice Punch to the face. And that's going to bring it down. The next Pokemon will be... definitely not going to be a bee, but it's going to be a Coughing. And that's another thing that's going to get Psychicked in the face. This shouldn't be too bad. This is going to be, I think, pretty easy. That is definitely a bad Pokemon choice. And down goes Coughing. So again, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. This is the Pokeball round. It's, you know, the first round of guys. Even though it's round 2, obviously the levels you can see are a little bit increased for the opponent's Pokemon. Normally they'd all be level 50, but they're rocking the 51s and the 52s and stuff. But it's just not gonna. It's not gonna get that difficult. They all have good attacks, but they're not, you know, they're not evolved Pokemon. So it's gonna take a little bit to get to the Master Ball round, but. You know, we just gotta hang in there. Feels like I was a biker. I mean, look at that guy. That guy's a biker. He's not wearing a helmet. What is that guy doing? That guy's setting a bad example. How can Pokemon let that get out? That's a bad example. Really, with Tiny Wings here, I think it's time for him to start cleaning this thing up. And this guy's going to lead with a Seaking. Literally a Sea King. Here comes a T-Bolt, and that's going to do a huge amount of damage. It will be able to survive, and of course it uses a very annoying move, Supersonic. Luckily, that shit is not going to be hitting me. And I'm going to be able to finish it off with another T-Bolt. And again, that will do a huge amount of damage. And the next Pokemon is Lickitung. Definitely going to go for the Blizzard. And that's going to do a huge amount of damage. More than half. Here comes a Screech, though, and this guy is really all about the really annoying, loud attacks that make me want to fucking rip my ears off. But hey, whatever, I'm not gonna harp on him too much if that's what he wants to do. Anyway, here comes the Fire Blast. And that is going to do a huge amount of damage and bring that thing down. So even though Lickitung pretty bulky, definitely not going to be able to take 2 of those hits. The last Pokemon is hilariously Zubat. I don't think this thing would be able to take a Hyper Beam, but just in case, I'm just going to Thunderbolt it. Because ain't nobody got time for that. And down goes the most annoying Pokemon in Pokemon history. Seriously, every time you're doing a Nuzlocke run, you get to Mount Moon, you're like, oh, come on, give me a Machop or a Geodude or a Clefairy or something. But no, it's a fucking Zubat every time. Every time. Shit is so annoying. On my Fire Red Omega, remember, I was way back, that was like my first videos. I was like, yo, let me get this fucking, let me get a Larvitar. No, Zubat. So that was truly just an awful, awful experience. Anyway, we're leading with our hardcore guys here. We're going to start off with Powa. And that thing's going to lead with Magnemite, and that is hilarious. Because I don't think there's anything this thing can do to me. And well, look at that, we're even going to be faster than it. And here comes the Earthquake, and that is going to tear open the ground. And that thing is dead as shit. You know you're in trouble when you're slower than fucking Rhydon. Here comes an Execute, though, and that could be a big problem for me. So, we're going to have to go for the Rock Slide here. And I'm hoping I can live a Mega Drain or whatever it wants to do, but I'm actually going to be faster than it. And unfortunately, the Rock Slide is going to miss. And that thing's going to go for the Stun Spore. That shit is going to hit, though, and now I'm paralyzed. And I'm going to still stay in. I want to see if a Rock Slide can kill it. It's actually going to go for Leech Seed here. So, that's interesting, I guess. And now we're going for Rock Slide again here. And that's going to do a huge... Well, it actually only does half, so that's definitely not as good as I thought it was going to do. So, we're going to switch out at this point, because... Rhydon, you're not doing it, my friend. I thought that would hit for more. I really did, because, I mean, you're a Rhydon, you have a billion attack. You're using the Stabbed, Rock Slide, and it just didn't do anything. Anyway, we go into Fissure here, and this guy is going to Blizzard the shit out of this Execute. And that's going to do a huge amount of damage. And that's going to bring it down. Luckily, his last Pokemon is Gloom. So we can go for another Blizzard here, and that should bring it down. I wouldn't be surprised. It is luckily Frozen Solid, and that face is hilarious. Look at that face. It's like, what the fuck? Exactly. There's no fighting back when you're frozen. So here comes the Hyper Beam, and that's going to do a huge amount of damage. And that's going to do it for this. So we're halfway done with this. Not too bad, only 12 minutes so far. We do have a Gentleman coming up, though, so you know he's going to be tough. And he's rocking the Dragonair, and the friggin' dude's got a Persian, too. That could be a problem, but we'll see. Go with that. We're going to lead with Big Wings. And I couldn't have been a worse selection for me here. I'm actually going to go for the Swords Dance. And we'll see how this goes. So we're going to definitely increase our attack power. I figure I should be able to live a Surf. Maybe. Okay, I'm definitely going to be able to live a Surf. And now I can straight up just go for the Dig here. And with a Swords Dance under my belt, that Dig should definitely one-shot this Omastar. And that's going to do a huge amount of damage, but not enough. Even with a Swords Dance, I'm not able to bring that thing down. And this is going to be the last time you see Big Wings. We're definitely not bringing him anymore. He is just so bad. He literally offers nothing to my team other than being a fucking awful... Like, Charizard is just so terrible. Anyway, it's time to make up for lost ground. And we're just going to Mega Drain the shit out of this thing. That is going to be quad 4 effective, but that thing is going to die anyway. I could have hit that thing with a fucking tackle and it would have gone down. So we even it up at 2 apiece, and he's going to go into Persian. And I'm actually going to go for the Toxic Leech Seed combo here, because I like being a douche. And it's going to go for Body Slam instead of Slash. It gets a critical hit anyway, and it gets the Paralyze, which really sucks. But anyway, there goes the Toxic. So now if I can just get this Leech Seed off, we'll be good to go. It's going to continue going for the Body Slam. It does not get a critical hit there, and that is thankful. It is going to get the poison damage there, and unfortunately I am going to be fully paralyzed. So that kind of sucks balls. Now we can't really go for Leech Seed. And this guy's actually going to switch out and go into Marowak. And we're going to hit this thing with a Psychic Blast. And that's going to do a huge amount of damage. But now we can go for the Mega Drain on this thing if we can live whatever it wants to do. It's going to go for the Seismic Toss. And it is going to deal a decent chunk. And of course, I'm going to be fully paralyzed again. So that is a 50% chance we're fully paralyzed. And that really fucking blows. That means this Seismic Toss is going to bring me down. And just like that, we're down to our last Pokemon here. I did not think the gentleman... I mean, I knew he was going to be tough, but I didn't think he was going to be this tough. Anyway, we go into Dragonite. And I have to go for a low accuracy move here. I can't T-Bolt it. So we're going to have to hope that this Blizzard hits. Luckily it does, and that thing is dead as shit. And poor Marowak tries to stand up on its bone. Just not going to happen. And when I say bone, I mean the bone that it carries around, not any other kind of bone. Anyway, its last Pokemon is, of course, Persian, but it is poison. So I figure I can go for Hyper Beam. It is actually going to be faster than me, even though it's 5 levels lower. But as you can see, that thing is not doing damage. So here comes the Hyper Beam, and that's going to do a huge amount of damage, and that's going to bring it down. Look at that, an unstabbed Hyper Beam is able to take that thing down in one hit. Its stabbed Body Slam literally does nothing. I guess figuratively. Obviously, it literally did do some damage, but that's not the point that I'm trying to make here. The point that I'm trying to make is that guy's dead. And we can move on to the quarterfinal. Let's do it. It's a beauty. It's a beauty. There's a lot of things weak to electric. Actually, everything's weak to grass. Should have led with what's his face, but there's no good grass attacks. But we're going to lead with Electabuzz with our Bandit here, and we're just going to T-Bolt the shit out of most of his team. Of course, I don't predict that, and he goes into something else. Graveler! That thing is definitely going to be able to take a Thunderbolt very well. Because it's not going to take any damage anyway. However, we do have the Ice Punch, so we can go ahead and hit that thing with an Ice Punch to the face. That's going to deal a huge amount of damage, and it nearly brings it down. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite, so it's going to actually be able to get the Earthquake off. And speaking of huge amounts of damage, that's going to be a huge amount of damage. So just as the announcer says, huge damage for both sides. This time we are going to be able to finish this thing off. And it's going to go into So we'll go for the free Thunderbolt here. It's pretty much going to be... I don't think it'll one-shot it, unfortunately. Even though Electabuzz has a lot of special. Yeah, it's going to be able to live it. God damn it. God damn it. That thing is going to Ice Beam the shit out of me. Luckily, I am going to be able to hold on. Exactly. Both combatants at very low HP at this point. And down goes Frazier. And he is now down to... Or she... excuse me, is now down to her last Pokemon, which of course is Fuck Yeah Seeking. But I don't think Seeking has the special that Dugong does, so I think this might take it out. It does have a lot of HP though, and it's a couple levels. Oh, but it does! And we only got 2 fights left. But even though it is the Pokeball round, the last 2 fights are going to be a little bit, remember, the last guy is always a step above the rest. And the penultimate guy is going to be a little bit harder. Not too much, but definitely a little bit. We've got the Tamer. And as you can see there, he's rocking all evolved Pokemon, of course, except for the lovely Dragonair. Looking at this team, I'm thinking we're going to go with you, and you. So as he says, it is the semi-final. Ain't nobody wants to lose. So it's actually a very cool name for this guy. It's actually Air Dragon. It works out very well with Dragonair on that name. Let's hit it with a Blizzard, shall we? With a critical hit, that'll bring it down in one time. There's no way. Even Dragonair is not going to be able to survive that. So an early lead, that's always good. Its next Pokemon is Tentacruel. And we've got the Earthquake. That's what we've got. And that's going to do a huge amount of damage. It is going to be able to live, however. But all it's going to be able to do is get a Toxic off. So this Tentacruel will go down without actually doing anything. So that's obviously going to do a huge amount of damage. Its last Pokemon is Rapidash. I think a Hyper Beam can take it out at this point. With a critical hit, that will definitely kill this thing. Well, so much for the semifinal being a step above. Literally 3 one-shot. Well, not one-shots. Never mind. I didn't one-shot Tentacruel. He was able to live. But no damage. That's pretty good. But now it's time for the male Cool Trainer. And obviously a step... Oh, never mind. It's a Psychic. That's right. It is a Psychic. The first and third rounds, it's a Psychic as the last guy. But obviously the Psychic here doesn't realize that he can evolve his Pokemon. So he's definitely using a bunch of shit. But he's still got Psychic Pokemon, which... Yeah, nobody wants to deal with that. We'll go with the big 3. Derp, fucking Fisher, and Tiny Wings. It's going to lead with Execute. We are leading with Fisher. Obviously, the music has become a lot more intense here. And we're going to freeze that thing solid. And he's actually going to switch out, which doesn't make any sense to me. Because it's going to die anyway. So why not just let it die and not take damage on the switch out? Because now I can Hyper Beam this Slowpoke and bring it down without even letting it do anything. So Slowpoke goes down now. And he's literally left with just one Pokemon because Execute is not going to be able to do anything. Its last Pokemon is Venomoth. Unfortunately, I am going to have to recharge on this turn. But if Venomoth goes down, the battle is pretty much over at that point. But all this thing is going to do is Toxic me, and all I'm going to do is Hyper Beam it. But I miss the attack, so now I'm going to take Poison and a Psychic. And I believe I have to recharge, too, which is incredibly fucking stupid, but... Yep. If you miss Hyper Beam, you still have to recharge. Which technically makes sense. However, in later games that has changed to where, no, you definitely do not have to recharge if you miss. Either way, at this point, I am going to go down pretty soon here, so I am going to go for Hyper Beam one more time. And this time it is going to hit, and it's going to critical to make up for the injustice that was missing the previous time. And remember, this is not like Red and Blue, where you get a free turn after killing an opponent with Hyper Beam. You just have to sit there. So as neither Pokemon can make a move, it's time to end this battle with a Body Slam. And Execute goes down. So there you go. Obviously not too bad. It's just the first round of 4. Hopefully the Great Ball will be a little bit more difficult. I'm sure it will be. And I hope you enjoyed watching. So, there it is. There is the Pokeball trophy for the Poke Cup Round 2. So anyway, next time we will take on the Poke Cup Great Ball Round. I will see you guys then.